Ja, in Antwerpen loopt hij al en hij loopt nog een hele tijd. Dat is de Queen musical We Will Rock You. Echt super populair in heel de wereld. Meer dan 12 miljoen mensen hebben die musical al gezien. En het stopt maar niet, dat succes. Maar de storyline is geschreven door een groot Brits comedian en auteur ook. En hij is ook verantwoordelijk voor prachtige series zoals The Blackadder en The Young Ones. En hij is hier waar ik erg trots op ben. Dames en heren, de enige echte Ben Elton.
Blimey.
And welcome.
Thank you very much.
How's your back?
It's all right. I'm okay. I may need a physio later, and I will charge you.
Yeah, we'll have a nice dancer girl from the Crazy Horse who will do the works.
He's an old perv.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling me old, because I am old. You're in Antwerp now. And because the musical, I mean, that's finished. I mean, it has already had success all over the world. What are you doing in Antwerp to make it better for the Flemish audience?
It's not finished. It's just starting. I mean, you know, you haven't made it anywhere till you've made it to the Flemish audience, right?
Okay,
you know, you've got to. This is where we've been aiming. 10 years in London, and now we're ready for you.
Now we're ready for Antwerp.
Well, you know, we're going to make it as good as it's ever been. The reason I think the show continues to play all around the world, and 10 years now we're still in London, is because Brian May, Roger Taylor from Queen and myself continue to work on every new production, and they've worked with the band here in Flanders.
They really follow it up?
Absolutely. Everyone on that band stage will have worked, or at least the very least they'll have done has been auditioned by Brian and Roger, and I come and work with each company.
Yeah.
And we work on the little local jokes, you know, because it's about
pop
culture.
Do that?
Of course, I've been looking up my K3. I love
K3.
Listen, it's always a pleasure to research K3. Well, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I think you know, really, they should have given her a name beginning with a K. I mean, that's weird, isn't it? I mean, it should be K2 plus J now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
He knows the words.
Oh, yeah, I've done my
you know what's the name of the king?
Oh, you mean the rebel league?
Yeah.
Clouseau, of course, because he's so popular. I mean, there will come a time when Clouseau just live at the Sports Palace. I mean, they're just going to sort of put a bed there and just play every night and never leave.
Yeah.
And there'll be a rotation of the whole every Flemish speaker on earth.
So you've been following up the Flemish news to work that into the Queen musical.
Of course,
We Will Rock You.
And you know, I love. We talked often before when we met in Ostend
last year.
I love the politics here is
very interesting.
It's interesting, and I've always been interested in politics, and this is interesting politics. So everywhere with the foreign language, the non-English language productions of Queen, because of We Will Rock You, because it's a comedy, I play a little bit with the fact that the dialect is the dialogue is in the local language. Here it is in Flemish, and of course the idea being that English is this dead language, the language of rock, the language of classic rock, and now everybody speaks Flemish, and I always have to think of a reason why the whole world, the lingua franca, and of course this is because
what is the reason that the whole world will be talking Flemish?
Because Belgium taught the whole world that you don't need governments, and we're all very grateful.
Of French
so now everyone speaks Flemish and just very occasionally a little French. You know, just occasionally.
Not exactly.
Every other Sunday.
Every other. Let's have a look at a clip from the musical We Will Rock You. That's amazing. Were you a Queen fan when you were younger?
Oh, you got to be a Queen fan. I think people
Everybody's a Queen fan.
People who say, "Oh, I don't like Queen," it's like saying I don't like the Beatles. I mean, you can't not. I mean, you might not like some tracks. I mean, I'm not an Octopus's Garden man, you know, with respect to Ringo.
Oblada.
Exactly. Well, you know, I mean, Paul could write a tune. Let's be honest. But yeah, I loved Queen. It was my era. I went to college to study drama when I was 16, and I lived on my own in a caravan. And you know, when you're young and
in a caravan.
Yeah, I did, in a field because I, you know, just trying to basically not much money and. And yeah, Queen were... No, the whole first, like, 10 weeks I was away from home for the first time in my life, Queen were at #1 with Bohemian Rhapsody. And then, like, so there I'm all lonely and sad and I'm listening to Queen.
Scaramouche,
Yeah, exactly. And 30 years
sad.
later... It's a little bit better than that, actually, if you don't mind. But, you know. And so, yeah, 30 years later, I get to work with this incredible rock force. And when I say work with, that's what we do. I mean, Brian, Roger and myself, as I say, we continue to work together.
Could you do it with another band? I mean, like, take that, the Bay City Rollers, Lady Gaga, the Osmonds?
I think the Rollers are a little too big for me. You know what I mean? Queen, yes, but not the Rollers.
Who knows the Bay City Rollers? You know the...
B-A-Y, B-A-Y, B-A-Y-C-I-T-Y. They used to sing that with the girls when I was at school. Look, Queen are a very special thing, you know, and to get the chance to work with them. And also, the thing about these, they call them jukebox musicals, shows that where popular music comes back to the theatre, which I think is a wonderful thing. It brings people in, and they hear live music, which is so rare now. We're all stuck watching YouTube, a little letterbox with a little bit of video. You come and see Mamma Mia or We Will Rock You. You see 30, 40 live singers with an 8-piece band, and it's all live. But it's getting the story right. Otherwise, it's just a tribute concert like Bjorn Again.
Because the story is about a time and age where real music...
Where live music is... Because the whole Disney-ficated High School Musical world, Idol, because we have some fun with your Idol, you know, the pop idol, American Idol thing. You know, my satirical idea was that one day these kind of corporate pop music productions will be so homogenous, they'll be so worldwide that there'll be no room for the kids to write their own music. And in fact, instruments will be banned. And so I've invented a kind of legendary
like Taliban, in fact.
Well, yeah, exactly.
The Taliban of rock.
I guess, you know. Because, you know, when we were kids, and let's face it, none of us are that, you know, you know, records used to climb to #1. Movies used to have to prove themselves before they were hits. But now everything has to be a hit before it's released. Because the plastic models...
And it lasts 1 week.
Yeah, and the plastic models are already in McDonald's, and they can't afford it to fail. And they talk about the opening weekend. Before anyone's seen it, how did it open? Well, all they mean is how was it marketed? And so this is a satire where the marketing is everything and the music is nothing. But there is one guitar left on earth, buried in rock. And he who will draw the guitar from the rock and play the mighty riffs will free the kids. So that's what it's about.
I think Freddie Mercury would be very proud to see this production, though.
A lot of, you know, the London critics were very, you know, they weren't so happy. And a lot of them said, what would Freddie think? As Roger Taylor said, he'd love it because it's a bloody great hit. And that's what it... But the truth is, actually, Brian and Roger and John Deacon, Queen were brothers. It wasn't Freddie with three guys behind him. I mean, Brian wrote...
a real band.
Yeah, Brian wrote We Will Rock You. Roger wrote Radio Gaga. John Deacon wrote another one, Bites the Dust. Freddie wrote Bohemian Rhapsody. They were a team of brilliant musicians. And Freddie's mum wrote to us when we opened, Freddie's mother, and said he would have loved this show because it is fun. And above all, Freddie wanted to have fun, and he said, she said, it looks to the future, and Freddie always looked forward. And she said, the last line was, if music is the food of love, she quoted Shakespeare, if music is the food of love, rock on. The second bit wasn't Shakespeare. So that was from Freddie's mum. So we're happy with that.
We should celebrate his birthday because that's next week, I think.
Yeah, we've got a big party. I'm doing some stand-up at the... we're having a big party at the Savoy. Everyone's expected to wear a Freddie moustache.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to do that. We've got to come as the spirit of Freddie, so I promise I'm going to put a new jewel in my cock ring.
Are you
sorry.
I didn't want to say anything.
Are you going to wear the maillots of Freddie Mercury?
No, I'm going to go as the 70s Freddie, like long-haired and a bit dull-looking. Yeah.
Good. I've heard you're writing on a film script with Richard Curtis again?
As always. Well, Richard and I, we wrote the Blackadder series together, which is such a hit here in Belgium, which is wonderful. In fact, the last series was set in Belgium because it was the First World War.
Exactly.
And we've started working together again, just looking at it, just playing around. So that's been a lot of fun. You know, we've always said we will. So
because I mean, he made 4 weddings.
4 weddings and Love Actually. He's a big filmmaker. Absolutely.
He worked with Mr. Bean.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have a look at Blackadder because I mean, the director of the program. We have to have Blackadder on the show. Let's have Blackadder on the show.
Let's have Blackadder. I get money,
darling.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Will you kindly stop interrupting? If you don't listen, how can you tell me what you think? I want to make you happy, darling. I want to build a nest for your 10 tiny toes. I want to cover every inch of your gorgeous body in pepper and then sneeze all over you.
Really, sir? I must protest.
What is the matter with you, darling?
Well, it's just all so sudden, sir. I mean, the nest bit's fine, but the pepper business is definitely out.
How dare you tell me how I may or may not treat my beloved Georgina?
Georgina?
Yes, I'm working out what I want to say to her this evening.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank God.
All right?
Yes, sir, listening, sir.
Honestly, darling, you really are the most graceless, dim-witted bumpkin I ever met.
I don't think you should say that to us.
Yeah, it's timeless. I mean, it's brilliant and timeless.
Lovely to...
Yeah. Are you working on a new novel?
Yes, I'm. In fact, absolutely. I'm sitting in my hotel in Antwerp, and when I'm not rehearsing the wonderful Flemish company, I'm working on the novel and a screen adaptation of another one. So plenty of work going on at the moment. But as I say, we always drop everything for a new production of We Will Rock You. And the fact that we've been able to actually cast half the principals from Flanders, our lead guy, you know him, Tim. You
Tim
know,
Driessen, yeah.
Plays Galileo. You know, it's just such an...
And Karel de Ruwe, who was Guido van den Boschen in Family.
We have a little bit of fun with Family. Yeah. You know, there's this videotape which has got the Queen. Well, we have a little bit of fun with his history with Family. Respectful fun.
It's a success. It's a big success.
A huge success. So that's taken up, you know, at the moment I'm focused on We Will Rock You. But yeah, a new novel and a movie in the pipeline.
What's the setting of the novel? Can we say that?
Yeah, it's based on... It's actually inspired by a family circumstance. My father's family were German Jews. They were lucky enough to get out. Most of the relatives died. But interestingly, my father's cousin was not Jewish. He was adopted, and he remained in Germany and served in the Wehrmacht throughout the Second World War, whilst my other uncle, my father's brother, served in the British Army. And after the war, we all got together. I used to spend my holidays on Uncle Hans's farm, you know. And we discovered that Uncle Jeff, the English one, and Uncle Heinz, the German one, had been within a couple of miles of each other during the war, on either side. And so the novel is fiction, but that idea of two relatives, one Jewish, one not Jewish, one on either side, is what the novel's about. It's quite a serious novel, but always a few laughs. Not a lot of laughs with genocide, but anyway.
Good. Yeah. I've read all your novels, and I brought them today, so I want you to sign them, all 13 of them. But you can do that in the next interview.
Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, my man. Oh, man, look at this. That's fantastic.
No, I enjoy them. They're all recommended. Echt allemaal heel goede boeken. Maar we're here for Queen, We Will Rock You. It is on in Antwerp until the 25th of September tot 25 september. En dan moet u zeker gaan kijken. Mr. Ben Elton.
Thank you, my man. Myself. Thank you.
Marijke, zijn er nog vragen van het publiek?
Ja, er is er nog eentje voor elk.
Ah ja, oké.
Voor Ben, Tom die wil weten of het klopt dat Ben intussen in Australië woont.
Ah ja, people asking from at home. Are you living in Australia? A viewer asks.
Yeah, I do. My wife is Australian. I met her in 1986 when Rick Mail from The Young Ones and I, we had some fun in Australia. And so, my wife's Australian, and we've relocated there to give the children... I have 3 children, and we wanted them to get to know their Australian granny and granddad and cousins, so we're spending a few years based in Australia. But I'm still obviously here a lot of the time.
Good.
But, yeah.
Another question?
Ja, een vraag voor Rudy van SLK 8500 op Twitter. Een interessante vraag. Krijgt Rudy nog een levensverzekering vast? Kan hij als oorlogsverslaggever nog voldoende dekking krijgen?
Does he get a life insurance when he's going from one war zone to the other? I don't know. And?
Yeah. By this, ik wil het aan mijn baas vragen. Ja, nee, absoluut. Ik denk dat de VRT mij verzekert. Punt. Alleen, ja, ik weet niet hoeveel. Dat zou ik eens moeten navragen, natuurlijk.
How much are the premiums?
I have no idea.
It'd be high, I think.
Yeah. Well, he's a very careful guy. Oké, dankjewel. En dan gaan we nu luisteren naar muziek.